A black SUV glides quietly down a lonely road. Inside, a tall black man, his face calm. Rearview mirror flashes with red. A police cruiser tails him. No siren, no command, just eyes. Two white officers, hands near their belts. He looks into the mirror. Silence. He doesn't flinch. Just a long, tired breath. The SUV pulls to the side. A heavy boot step. Out of the car. He doesn't move. I said out. Slowly, he opens the door, steps out. A rough shove pins him to the hood. Cuffs. Tight. No scream. Only eyes wide open. Not with fear, but with the kind of disappointment that's too old to yell. They had no idea. They just arrested a United States Army general. A woman paused at the corner, middle-aged, concerned. She saw him, a black man in cuffs, face pressed to a car hood. What did he do? No one answered her. One officer nudged her back. Back off, ma'am. Police business. But the man said nothing. No begging, no struggle, just silence. His eyes, the kind that had seen war, death, sacrifice, now filled with something worse, humiliation. One officer whispered, "Probably a car thief." The other nodded. "Fits the profile." They didn't ask, didn't check, just assumed, based on color and silence. He lifted his head slightly. "I'm not resisting." "Shut up." Another push. A bystander started recording. "This is wrong. He didn't do anything." A woman's voice yelled. Across the street, a child tugged on her mother's sleeve. "Mom, is that man crying?" No answer. In the frame, a soldier pressed down like he wasn't even human. Just a body. Nobody knew his name. Nobody knew. He once led the rescue of 73 soldiers from an ambush in Afghanistan. He wore the Medal of Honor. But right now, all they saw was a black man being arrested. One officer walked around to the front of the vehicle. He wasn't looking for justice, just for something, anything, to justify the arrest. He opened the glove box. A black leather wallet slipped out. Inside, an ID badge, a photo, a string of numbers, and 3 bold words, USARMYGENERAL. The officer froze, swallowed hard. Eyes wide, he looked at his partner. "Hey, look at this." The second officer stepped closer. Silence. Their faces said it all. They'd just made a mistake they couldn't take back. One of them grabbed the radio. "Dispatch. Verify ID for a Marcus Raymond James." Static. Then a voice. "Confirmed. Retired 4-star General Marcus R. James. Nationally decorated." Both officers froze. Slowly, they turned toward the man still pressed against the hood. Cuffs still on. Still silent. Still watching. Those eyes. They didn't scream. They didn't curse. They simply said, "Now you know." One officer trembled as he reached for the cuffs. But the man didn't move. He didn't need to. Because when truth arrives, it speaks louder than anger ever could. No more cuffs. No more yelling. Just silence. One officer stammered, "Sir, we didn't know." The man didn't answer. His eyes held no rage, no revenge, only emptiness. Around them, phones had already been recording. The video spread fast. TikTok, YouTube, news outlets. Within hours, millions had watched it. Headlines screamed, "Black Army General wrongfully arrested by racist cops." But he didn't speak to reporters, didn't post on social media, didn't cry. He simply went home and closed the door. Not because he was weak, but because he had fought his whole life to wear his dignity with pride, only to be dragged down by one hateful stare. The officers were suspended. The police chief apologized on national television. People brought flowers to his door saying, "We're sorry for all of it." But he didn't answer because he knew forgiveness is of the heart, but trust, once broken, can't be repaired by a press conference. That night, he sat alone in a small room. Yellow light poured down onto scarred hands. On the table, a Medal of Honor and a photo, faded. Young soldiers, smiling, under enemy fire. In the center, he's carrying a wounded man over his shoulder, drenched in blood. He closed his eyes, and the past returned. Afghanistan, sand, heat, bullets flying, teammates falling. No panic, just orders. Cover your brother. Move on my count. We don't leave anyone behind. Because of him, 73 came home. They called him the man who kept hope alive. But no one knew he had to write 14 letters to parents, to wives, to say their son wasn't coming back. No one knew. He turned down politics. He didn't want glory. He just wanted to be a good man. But the world wasn't good back. One look, one cold set of cuffs, undid everything he built. So he stayed silent, not because he was weak, but because he knew some battles are won by refusing to fight. A month later, a public hearing was held. He showed up, in his old uniform. The medals on his chest gleamed under the lights. One councilman asked, "Why didn't you resist? Why didn't you sue?" He raised his head. "Because I didn't need them to know I was a general. I needed them to know I'm a human being." The room fell silent. Some cried. Some lowered their heads. That day, he asked for no money, no apology from the president. He simply pulled a folded note from his pocket and read, "My mother once told me, when they hit you, don't raise your fists. Stand still, so the world can see who's truly weak." He folded the paper and walked away. The entire room stood up in thunderous applause. No one was told to. They just knew, because for once, they saw something bigger than rank. They saw character. That day, America didn't just witness a man wrongly arrested. They watched a legend walk away like a storm. And now, they know, and they will never forget.